Tyler Brennan, a man who prided himself on precision and control, was suddenly trapped in his SUV, battling the elements with nothing but the bitter cold for company. But when he stumbled upon a small cabin and met Natalie, the mother of his secret twins he never knew existed, everything changed. As their worlds collided in the heart of a blizzard, unexpected truths began to unfold, revealing the deep connections that bind us all. Stay tuned to witness how a chance encounter can rewrite the story of a family. As the brutal snowstorm raged outside, Tyler Brennan clutched the steering wheel of his sleek black SUV, squinting through the thick flakes that pelted the windshield. The engine hummed ominously, struggling against the icy pavement that had turned the road into a treacherous path. What had started as a routine business trip to finalize a land acquisition had quickly transformed into a fight for survival against nature's fury. Tyler, a CEO accustomed to precision and control, felt a knot of anxiety tighten in his stomach as he glanced at the digital clock on the dashboard, 9:47 p.m. He should have been at a five-star hotel by now, reviewing the final contract details, but instead, he was stranded, battling against a relentless blizzard. With each passing minute, the storm intensified, burying the road under piles of snow. Tyler realized he had ignored his assistant's warning about the weather, too eager to secure a deal that would expand his company's worth. As the SUV's engine coughed for the third time, he felt the vehicle lose power, sliding perilously close to the guardrail. Frustration coursed through him. Here he was, a powerful CEO reduced to helplessness by a snowstorm. He inhaled sharply, trying to maintain calm. He had faced corporate takeovers and global market crashes, but nothing compared to the primal fear of freezing alone on an abandoned road. Determined to find shelter, Tyler unzipped his suitcase and pulled out a thick wool coat and gloves, the only winter gear he had. The moment he opened the door, a blast of icy air hit him, nearly stealing his breath. Each step away from the SUV was a battle against the wind and snow that whipped around him. He trudged forward, half wondering if he was even still on the road, relying on the faint reflectors along the guardrail for guidance. Minutes stretched into an eternity, and just when he thought he couldn't push on any longer, he spotted a flickering light in the distance. Hope surged as he pressed forward, the light growing brighter until a small wooden house emerged, half buried in snow. Eager relief washed over him as he climbed the porch steps, knocking with urgency. For a moment, nothing happened, and just as he was about to knock again, the door creaked open. A petite woman stood before him, holding a lantern. Her big, wary eyes scanned him, and something flickered across her face. Concern, caution, maybe even curiosity. "I'm sorry to bother you," Tyler managed, his voice trembling from the cold. "My car died up the road. I'm stranded. May I come in for just a moment to warm up?" With a flicker of empathy softening her features, she stepped aside, opening the door wider. "Of course. Please come in before you freeze to death." Crossing the threshold, Tyler felt immediate warmth from a modest wood-burning stove in the living area. The place was small, with rustic furniture and an air of cozy practicality. It smelled of pine logs and a faint trace of vanilla, possibly from a candle. He let the heat of the stove seep into his bones as he thanked her, his teeth chattering. "I'm Natalie," she said, crossing her arms in a mix of politeness and caution. "I'm the only one here." "I'm Tyler Brennan," he replied, feeling the strangeness of relying on a stranger's kindness. "I ended up in the storm and my SUV wouldn't start. There's no signal on my phone, and I thought, well, I hope maybe I could use your phone or at least stay until the storm eases." At the mention of a phone, Natalie shook her head apologetically. "Cell service doesn't reach this stretch, especially in bad weather. I'm afraid the landline's been out since yesterday. Some telephone pole must have gone down." She paused, noticing the defeat in Tyler's shoulders. "But you're welcome to stay here. It's not safe to go back out." Relief flooded through him, though he couldn't hide how foreign this situation felt. Relying on a stranger was something he had never imagined. As she motioned toward the couch near the stove, he took a seat. The warmth enveloped him, and he breathed in the cozy smell of the cabin. "Thank you," he breathed, letting the heat sink in. As he glanced around, he noticed old photographs and children's drawings pinned on a wooden board. One of the pictures caught his eye, Natalie with a pair of curly-haired toddlers. A pang of curiosity flickered within him. Where were they? The quiet was broken by the sound of a kettle clanking on the stove. Soon, Natalie returned, handing him a chipped mug of steaming tea. He savored the warmth against his chilled palms, and as he took a sip, a momentary hush fell between them. "They're asleep upstairs," she said gently, noticing his gaze flicker toward the children's drawings. "My twins are 5 years old. I hope you don't mind. They're light sleepers. I'd rather not wake them." An odd tightness seized Tyler's chest at the mention of twins. He tried to swallow the surge of emotion, perhaps envy. "No, of course. I understand. I won't disturb them." Natalie studied him again, her expression cautious yet curious. "You must have a pressing reason to be out so late." Tyler hesitated, the truth hanging in the air. "I had a business matter to attend to, a land deal. Something important for my company. But I guess it's not as important as I thought, not when you're stuck in the cold." Natalie said nothing at first, letting the weight of that statement settle in the dimly lit room. Finally, she patted the couch. "Rest. I'll get some blankets so you can spend the night here. We can figure things out when the sun's up." "Thank you, Natalie. Really. I don't see many visitors, especially in the middle of a blizzard," she replied, her tone softening. "You must have your reasons for being out here." Tyler nodded, reflecting on the strangeness of his predicament. A man used to plush hotels and first-class flights was now at the mercy of a stranger's generosity in a remote cabin with a storm howling outside. And somewhere upstairs, 2 children slept, oblivious to the bizarre intrusion that might change their lives forever. As the morning light filtered through the lace curtains, Tyler stirred awake on the small couch, confusion flickering in his mind. This wasn't the plush suite at the upscale hotel he had booked, nor the sleek interior of his SUV. Instead, he found himself in a rustic cabin, the warmth of the wood stove contrasting sharply with the cold reality of the storm still swirling outside. He pushed himself up, feeling the stiffness in his body from both the chill and the tension of the previous day's ordeal. Yet, there was an unexpected calm within him, as if he were precisely where he needed to be. He glanced toward the kitchen area and heard soft footsteps overhead. Natalie and the twins must be waking up. The memory of last night flooded back, the warmth of the cabin, their shared laughter, and the strange sense of belonging that had begun to blossom within it. Curiosity about his children swirled in his chest, mingling with a deep yearning. He had never imagined himself as a father, yet the thought of Lily and Logan stirred emotions he couldn't quite name. Just then, Natalie appeared on the staircase, her hair pulled back, dressed in a simple robe. She seemed surprised to see him already awake. "Good morning," she greeted softly, stepping onto the creaking floorboards. "I hope you slept well." Tyler cleared his throat, trying to shake off the awkwardness. "Actually, yes, better than I expected. Thank you for letting me stay." He rubbed the back of his neck. "I've never been so relieved to see 4 walls." She nodded, her expression thoughtful. "We were all once in need of a little help, you know. I'm glad the storm led you here safely." Tyler cast a glance toward the window, the wind rattling a loose shutter. He felt the weight of the situation settle back onto his shoulders. "Think I can call for a tow truck now? Or maybe there's a local service." Natalie grimaced slightly. "Given those snow drifts, I doubt any truck can get through today. Plus, phone lines remain spotty. Out here, storms can knock things out for days." The thought of being stranded for an extended period gnawed at Tyler. He knew he had responsibilities back in the city, meetings, contracts, deals that couldn't wait. But the reality of the storm pressed in on him, reminding him that life didn't always adhere to his meticulous plans. He patted his pockets, his phone still displaying 0 service. "I guess I'm stuck," he muttered, frustration creeping into his voice. Natalie offered a quick smile, trying to ease the tension. "It's all right. I have enough canned food and firewood to wait out a blizzard. As long as we're careful, we'll manage." She tucked a stray lock of hair behind her ear, turning toward the small kitchen. "How about coffee? I can at least offer that." Tyler felt his stomach clench at the mention of coffee, not from displeasure, but from an unexpected longing for something comforting. "That would be great," he said, forcing a casual tone while she busied herself over the old-fashioned stove. As he stood, he carefully folded the quilt that had kept him warm through the night. He noticed the corners were frayed, patched with mismatched fabric, a testament to a life lived with resourcefulness. Just as he was about to take his seat again, soft footsteps echoed from the stairs. Lily and Logan, both dressed in warm pajamas, peeked around the corner. Tyler's heart twisted at the sight of them. "Good morning," he said, offering a gentle smile. "I'm Tyler. I got caught in the storm last night." The twins studied him with wide eyes, and Logan shuffled closer to Natalie, who knelt down to reassure them. "This is Mr. Tyler," she explained. "He's staying with us for a little while until the storm clears." Lily's eyes sparkled with curiosity. "Mommy, can he play with us?" Natalie glanced at Tyler, a flicker of uncertainty crossing her face. "He's probably busy, sweetheart," she replied gently. Tyler felt a sudden urge to connect with them. "I might be able to play if the storm lets up. What do you like to do?" Logan beamed, his excitement palpable. "We want to build another snowman." Tyler nodded, feeling a warmth spread through him at their enthusiasm. "That sounds like fun. I'd love to help." Natalie watched the exchange, a smile breaking through her earlier apprehension. "All right, but first, let's have some breakfast." As they gathered around the small table, Tyler marveled at the simple joy of sharing a meal. They dug into oatmeal prepared by Natalie, the warmth and sweetness of the dish filling the air with a sense of comfort. Throughout breakfast, the twins chatted animatedly about their plans for the day, their laughter echoing in the cozy cabin. For the first time in a long while, Tyler felt a sense of belonging. This wasn't just a temporary shelter from the storm. It was a glimpse into a life he had never imagined for himself. As he savored the oatmeal, he realized that the corporate triumphs he once chased felt distant, overshadowed by the warmth of the moment shared with this small family. After breakfast, as the children retreated for a bit of play, Tyler helped Natalie tidy up. With every dish washed and every playful moment shared, the bond between them grew stronger, filled with unspoken understanding and cautious hope. The storm outside may have been fierce, but inside the cabin, Tyler felt a fragile warmth blooming, hinting at the possibility of a new beginning. As the morning unfolded, Tyler found himself increasingly drawn into the warmth of the cabin and the joyful chaos of the twins. After breakfast, Lily and Logan, bubbling with excitement, announced their plan to build another snowman. The idea sent a thrill through Tyler. He had never built a snowman as an adult, and the thought of joining in on such a simple, childlike pleasure filled him with a sense of nostalgia. "Can we make a snow family?" Lily suggested, her eyes bright with enthusiasm. "Absolutely," Tyler replied, a smile spreading across his face. "We can make the biggest snowman in the entire county if we work together." Logan's eyes sparkled at the thought, and he bounced on his feet, eager to get outside. Tyler felt a rush of warmth at their enthusiasm, and for the first time in a long while, he found himself laughing genuinely. As they put on their coats and boots, Tyler couldn't shake the strange sense of belonging that washed over him. This was more than just a temporary escape from his corporate life. It was a glimpse into the family he never knew he wanted. Once outside, the fresh snow glistened under the pale winter sun, and the air was crisp and invigorating. The twins squealed with delight as they flopped into the snow, making angels while Tyler watched, grinning. He felt a pang of longing as he thought of all the moments he had missed, moments that were now unfolding before him. "Come on, Mr. Tyler," Logan shouted, urging him to join in. "Help us make the snowman." Tyler dove into the snow, rolling large snowballs with the twins. They worked together, laughing as they layered the snowballs to create the body of the snowman. Tyler found joy in this simple act of creation, something he hadn't felt in years. Each push of the snowball brought a sense of fulfillment that his corporate victories never had. As they constructed their masterpiece, Tyler stole glances at the twins. Their laughter, their bright eyes, and the way they worked together felt like a balm to his soul. In that moment, he could almost envision a future where he was a constant presence in their lives, a father figure who was there for the laughter, the snow days, and the quiet moments. Once the snowman was complete with a scarf and a crooked smile made of pebbles, Tyler stepped back to admire their handiwork. Lily bounced up to him, her cheeks flushed with excitement. He needs a name. Let's call him Snowy McSnowface, Logan declared, and they all erupted in laughter at the silliness of it. Perfect, Tyler agreed, feeling a sense of pride in their creation. As they celebrated their accomplishment, Natalie stepped outside, her smile warm as she took in the scene. I see you've been busy, she called, her eyes sparkling with joy. Come join us, Mommy, Lily shouted, waving her arms. With a playful grin, Natalie approached, her presence adding to the warmth of the moment. Tyler felt a swell of gratitude for her willingness to let him into their lives, even for just a day. Can you help us make a snow family? Tyler asked, inviting her in. Natalie laughed, her eyes reflecting the happiness of the day. I'd love to. As they worked together, building another smaller snow figure beside their snowman, the bond between them deepened. Tyler noticed how natural it felt to have Natalie by his side, crafting something beautiful together. Each interaction, each shared smile, began to chip away at the walls he had built around his heart. After their snow family was complete, they all stood back to admire their work, a sense of accomplishment hanging in the air. Okay, time to get inside before we freeze, Natalie called, ushering the twins back toward the cabin. As they trudged back through the snow, Tyler felt a sense of hope blooming within him. He had come to this cabin seeking shelter from a storm, but what he found was something far more profound, a chance at connection, at family, and at a future he had never dared to imagine. Once inside, the warmth enveloped them, and Tyler knew this experience was only the beginning. He was determined to fight for a place in their lives, to be more than just a visitor caught in a snowstorm. As he looked at Natalie and the twins, he felt ready to embrace whatever came next, knowing he would do everything in his power to keep this newfound family close. As the day wore on, the initial excitement of building snowmen gradually gave way to the reality of Tyler's situation. After a hearty lunch, the twins retreated to their room, leaving Tyler and Natalie alone in the living room. The warmth of the fire crackled softly, yet an undercurrent of tension hung in the air as they exchanged glances, both aware of the unspoken conversation that loomed between them. Tyler leaned against the wall, arms folded, his mind racing. I know this is all happening so fast, he began, choosing his words carefully. But I want to be part of your lives. I want to be a father to Lily and Logan, if you'll let me. Natalie's expression shifted, her gaze dropping to the floor. It's not that simple, Tyler, she replied softly, her voice tinged with concern. They've grown up without knowing you. I don't want to disrupt their lives or throw them into confusion. I understand, he assured her, stepping closer, but I don't want to just disappear again. The more time we spend together, the more they can get to know me. We can take it slow. She looked up, her eyes searching his for sincerity. What if they get attached? What if they think you're always going to be here, and then you leave again? Tyler felt a pang of guilt at the thought. I won't walk away this time. I'm serious about this. I've cleared my schedule for now, and I want to find a way to make this work. Natalie sighed, her shoulders slumping under the weight of the decision. It's been just me and the twins for so long. I've built a life here, a routine that feels safe. I don't know how to let someone else in. He nodded, understanding her fears. I get that, but maybe letting me in could be a good thing for all of us. They deserve to have a father in their lives. They deserve to have someone who cares. At that moment, the faint sound of giggles drifted from upstairs, a reminder of the joy the twins brought to their lives. Tyler couldn't help but smile, picturing their laughter echoing in the cabin. They really are wonderful kids, he said, his heart swelling with affection. Natalie's expression softened slightly. They are. They've adapted to so much, and I've tried to give them everything I could. I admire that about you, Tyler said earnestly. You've done an incredible job raising them on your own. I'm not here to take that away from you. I want to support you both. She studied him for a moment, her defenses wavering. It's just they don't know about you yet. I've told them their father is not in our lives. I don't want to break their hearts. Tyler felt a swell of determination. We can figure out how to tell them together. I want to earn their trust, and your trust, too. I don't expect anything overnight. The tension in the room began to ease as Natalie considered his words. I appreciate that you're willing to take it slow, she admitted, her voice softening. But I need to know you're serious about this. I don't want to get hurt again. I promise, he said, his tone steady. I'll do whatever it takes to be there for you and the kids. I want to be part of this family. Natalie nodded, her eyes glistening with unshed tears. Okay, let's take it one step at a time. We can keep this between us for now. As she spoke, the warmth in Tyler's chest grew. He felt a renewed sense of hope as they stood together, united by a common purpose. Outside, the wind howled, but inside the cabin, a fragile bond was beginning to form, one built on trust, understanding, and the promise of new beginnings. After a moment, Natalie glanced toward the staircase. I should check on them, she said quietly. They'll be wondering where we are. Of course, Tyler replied, a sense of anticipation bubbling within him. I'll help with whatever you need. As she moved toward the stairs, Tyler felt a surge of gratitude for this unexpected chance. He was determined to prove himself worthy of their trust, to show Natalie that he could be the partner and father they all deserved. Today had been a step forward, a small victory in the midst of uncertainty, but it was a victory nonetheless. As twilight descended upon the cabin, casting a warm glow through the windows, Tyler couldn't shake the feeling of impending change. The day's events, the laughter, the snowman, and the tentative steps toward building a family had shifted something deep within him. He had come to this cabin seeking shelter from a storm, both literally and metaphorically, but now he felt an urgent need to make this feeling of belonging more permanent. After dinner, the twins had scampered off to their room, their energy still bubbling as they prepared for bed. Tyler and Natalie lingered in the kitchen, tidying up the remnants of their meal. As he washed the dishes, he caught fleeting glimpses of the children's laughter, filtering down the hallway, and a warmth spread through him at the thought of being part of their lives. Tyler, Natalie said softly, breaking the comfortable silence, what's next for you? Once you can get the car fixed and everything? He paused, drying his hands on a towel, considering her question. I want to help you and the kids however I can. Once the roads are clear, I'll make sure to take care of my responsibilities back in the city. But I don't want to leave without making arrangements to be here more often. Natalie nodded. Her expression thoughtful. That would be ideal. But it's a big adjustment for all of us. The twins are already starting to like you, and I can see they're beginning to trust you. Trust is important, Tyler replied, leaning against the counter. I want to earn their trust, show them I'm serious about being part of their lives. I know it won't happen overnight. A flicker of uncertainty crossed her face, and Tyler could sense her lingering fears. I just don't want them to get too attached too quickly, she said quietly. What if they think you're going to be around all the time and then you're not? He stepped closer, looking her in the eyes. I promise I'm not going anywhere without a plan. I'll make sure they understand that I'm in this for the long haul. I want to be a father to them. Natalie took a deep breath, her shoulders relaxing slightly. Okay, let's take it slowly then. We can introduce you more into their lives. Let them get to know you without overwhelming them. I like that, Tyler said, feeling a surge of hope. We can figure out how to tell them the truth when the time feels right. As they discussed their plans, Tyler felt the weight of his past begin to lift. He had spent so many years chasing after success and wealth, believing that those were the keys to happiness. But standing here with Natalie, discussing a future with the twins, he realized that real happiness lay in connection and love, not in corporate achievements. Their conversation flowed easily, filled with shared laughter and tentative hopes for the future. Tyler felt more at ease with each passing moment, his heart swelling with the possibility of what could be. He wanted to be part of this family, to forge a bond that could withstand any storm. Just then, the sound of small footsteps echoed down the stairs, and Lily peeked around the corner, her eyes bright with innocence. Can we have a story before bed? She asked, her voice filled with eagerness. Of course, Natalie replied, her smile returning as she motioned for Tyler to join them. Would you like me to read with you? Tyler offered, his heart racing at the thought of being included in such a simple yet significant moment. Lily's face lit up, and she nodded enthusiastically. Yes, please. As they settled onto the couch, Tyler opened a worn storybook that Natalie had chosen. The twins nestled against him, their warmth and trust enveloping him like a blanket. He began to read, his voice animated as he brought the characters to life. Laughter and gasps filled the room as they shared the story, the bond between them growing stronger with every turn of the page. After the story, as the twins drifted off to sleep, Tyler pressed a gentle kiss to each of their foreheads, a promise of his commitment to be there for them. Standing in the dimly lit hallway, he felt a sense of profound gratitude wash over him. Turning to Natalie, he whispered, "Thank you for letting me be part of this. I want to be here for you and the kids to really be part of this family." She met his gaze, her eyes glistening with emotion. "I want that too, Tyler. I truly do." In that moment, they shared an understanding that transcended words, a quiet acknowledgement of the journey ahead, filled with uncertainty, but also with hope. As Tyler settled back onto the couch, he realized that he was ready to embrace whatever challenges lay ahead, determined to build a future not just for himself, but for the family he had come to cherish. The night settled in, wrapping the cabin in a cocoon of warmth and light. Tyler sat on the couch, gazing into the crackling fire, thoughts swirling with the events of the past few days. Outside, the snow continued to fall softly, blanketing the world in a serene silence. Inside, however, a sense of excitement and possibility filled the air. Tyler knew that tomorrow he would face the reality of leaving the cabin to check on his SUV and make arrangements with his office. But the thought of returning to his old life felt different now. He had tasted the sweetness of connection, the joy of family, and he wasn't willing to let it slip away. As he reflected on his past, he realized how hollow his previous pursuits had felt compared to the warmth of the moments shared with Natalie and the twins. For years, he had chased after promotions and accolades, believing they would fulfill him. Now, he understood that true fulfillment came from relationships and love. Natalie emerged from the kitchen, the soft glow of the lamp illuminating her face. "I just finished tidying up. The kids are asleep," she said, her voice a gentle whisper. She settled onto the couch beside him, their shoulders nearly touching, and Tyler felt a warmth spread through him at her closeness. "Thank you for everything today," he replied, turning to her. "It's been incredible. I never expected to feel so at home here." Her eyes met his, a mix of gratitude and apprehension swirling within them. "I'm glad you're here, but I still worry about what happens next. When you leave, how will we maintain this?" Tyler took a deep breath, his heart pounding at the thought of their uncertain future. "I promise I won't disappear. I'll find a way to be present in your lives, whether it's coming back on weekends or having you visit me in the city. We'll figure it out together." Natalie nodded slowly, her expression softening as she considered his words. "I want that too. I just want to protect the kids from getting hurt." "I understand," he said earnestly, "but I believe they deserve to know their father. I want to be there for them, to be part of their lives." The crackling of the fire filled the silence as they both contemplated the weight of those words. For a moment, the world outside faded away, and all that mattered was the connection they were forging. "I've never let anyone in like this before," Natalie admitted, her voice barely above a whisper. "It's terrifying." Tyler reached out, gently taking her hand in his. "I won't take advantage of your trust. I want to earn it day by day. I'll show you that I'm serious about being part of this family." As they sat together, the warmth of the fire and the closeness of their hands created an intimacy that felt both new and familiar. Tyler could sense the shift in their relationship, a blossoming trust that had the potential to grow deeper. "Let's take it slow," she suggested, her eyes reflecting a mixture of hope and caution. "We can figure out how to tell the twins when the time feels right." "I agree," he said, squeezing her hand gently. "We'll navigate this together." With that unspoken agreement, a sense of determination filled the space between them. Tyler felt ready to embrace the challenges ahead, knowing that he had the chance to build something meaningful. As they settled into a comfortable silence, Tyler glanced at the window, where the snowflakes danced in the light. He realized that, despite the uncertainty that lay ahead, he was no longer alone. He had found a family in the most unexpected of circumstances, and he was eager to nurture that bond. "Good night, Natalie," he said softly, a genuine smile spreading across his face. "Good night, Tyler," she replied, her voice warm and inviting. As he closed his eyes, Tyler felt a profound sense of peace wash over him. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, but for tonight, he was exactly where he needed to be, surrounded by warmth, love, and the promise of a future he was determined to fight for.